Hello everybody on Facebook and YouTube land. It is time for Reggie's cooking time. Today I went onto the internet. I'm sure I could find it in one of my cookbooks here, but I'm going to make Tuscan chicken. So what I have done is I have everything right here ready to go, including my chicken. So it calls for 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. I just put in as much as I need, but you can certainly measure it. But 1 tablespoon, and get the pan nice and hot, because what you're going to do is you're going to fry 4 chicken breasts. And what I did was I just used 2, and I cut them in half, kind of. So make sure when you're using chicken that you want to wash everything really good. After you touch the chicken and put it in the pan, you're going to want to wash your hands with soap and hot water. And then I have them on my cutting board, so I'm going to wash that real good too. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, 4 boneless chicken breasts, kosher salt, and finely black pepper. Well, I don't have kosher salt, but I do have black pepper, and I have regular salt. So I'm going to salt and pepper both sides. And it says to fry them on each side for 8 minutes. And then I have the rest of my ingredients here, which is a teaspoon of oregano. So I have the McCormick. And my minced garlic. So a teaspoon of dried oregano. 3 cloves of garlic minced. So I'll just do 3 teaspoons of garlic. 3 tablespoons of butter, and I just use the unsalted butter. The cherry tomatoes. 3 cups of baby spinach. A half a cup of heavy cream, and a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan to put on the top. So let's see here how good these are going. I know it hasn't been 8 minutes yet, but I will do it 8 minutes on each side, and then we can continue. I'll be back. So I have one side nice and brown, and we're just going to cook it for another 4 minutes, because it's been 8 minutes on one side and then a little over a couple minutes on the other. So we'll just come back when this is done, and I'll go to the next step. And you are going to also want to put the oregano on at this step when you're frying it, so the oregano can get all into the chicken. If you don't like oregano, you can certainly leave it out, but it just won't be the same, unfortunately. So there we go. We have some oregano on each side. And I will go ahead and flip them again, because what you want is some nice juice in the bottom here. So when you're making the Tuscan part, that it will bring up all the good stuff on the bottom from you making your chicken. And let me get a dish. I just have my plate to put the chicken on while I'm making the Tuscan part of it. Oh, the oregano. I'm usually not a fan of oregano, but the oregano is really good smelling too. Okay, let's take this out, and then we'll go on to the next part. All right, look at that nice chicken. And we will put it back in the pan. So now what I need is 3 tablespoons of butter. So as you can see with the butter, it has the marking. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to turn it down to medium so it'll cool down just a little bit. There's a little bit of stuff on the bottom, so let's go ahead and put the butter in. And we're going to melt the butter. You can use a spoon if you want. So I'm just going to use my tongs here. And it's on medium heat. Oh, look at that. And as you guys know, I usually try to make my videos under 10 minutes. But I know that the last couple have not been under 10 minutes. But it just makes for better. Oh, look at that butter melt. And then I'm going to get my teaspoon. And I have these handy dandy ones from Pioneer Woman. So, and I'm just waiting for the rest of this butter to melt. But we can start putting in the garlic. And we're going to do 3 teaspoons. So there's 1, 2, oh man, yum. 3 teaspoons of garlic. And you can mince the garlic yourself or do like I did. And let's go ahead and stir that in with the butter. Wow. And you're going to cook that just until it gets fragrant. You're not going to want to cook the garlic too long or it gets bitter. Okay, next part of this. And it says about 1 minute. And so we're going to add the cherry tomatoes, but I'm going to want to cut them first. Add the cherry tomatoes. And it says to season it with salt and pepper. And again, this is on medium heat. I got some cherry tomatoes and I used them for my Harvey's breakfast. And it's gone from yesterday morning already. That's how much Harvey likes it and I like it. And I actually did give some to one of my friends. So, and the tiramisu I put in the freezer. And I will deliver that right before the 4th of July. Okay, there's the tomatoes. And I won't need my knife anymore. Oh, look at all that goodness. And it says to salt and pepper it. Not that the chicken doesn't have enough salt and pepper already. But salt and pepper to taste. And then it says cook until the tomatoes are beginning to burst. So I have them, but it says until they're to burst, so you're going to want to put them in whole. And you're going to want, I think it's in 1.5 cups of tomatoes. Yep, 1.5 cups of cherry tomatoes. So obviously I skipped the part about leaving them whole and cook them until they burst. But we're on medium to high heat here. And let's get the rest of this going. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese. And I just got the Kemp's half and half. Or whipping cream, heavy whipping cream. Yeah, I got shallots the other day. So. I went shopping, actually shopping the other day. And I got some onions, carrots, and celery all chopped up already. So I don't have to do the legwork. And this here is just going to take a little bit longer here. And once they start bursting, then we're going to add the cream. And we're going to do half a cup of heavy whipping cream. And we're going to do Then we're going to do the spinach. And you're going to cook the spinach until it starts to wilt. About 3 cups. So let's go ahead and put a lid on this so it'll wilt a little bit faster. I did it kind of not in order, but what are you going to do? So you're supposed to put the spinach in, let it wilt, and then put in the cream. Let's see here how good. And probably baby spinach would be better. And we'll just let it wilt a little bit more. And put the lid on. What the lid on will help it retain its moisture, so it'll wilt faster. Okay, it's thinking. I may add a little bit more of the whipping cream because it's cooking out really, really fast. Give it a couple minutes. It's starting to boil. Yeah, I think the baby spinach would probably wilt a little bit faster. But if you like spinach, you could do it just bigger. Okay, it's starting to wilt now a little bit more. So let's put in some Parmesan cheese. And then we'll put the lid on it and let that Parmesan melt. Let it melt a little bit. And I am going to put in a little bit more cream. And I'm not going to measure, but do it to your liking. As you can see, the Parmesan is getting melting. The spinach is wilting more. So, if that's the case, let's go ahead and put these chicken breasts back in. And of course, go by what I say the recipe is. Don't do like I do. Ooh, and what can we do with that juice is just put it right in the pan. And I know how I like my chicken. So we're going to put this lid on. I'm going to simmer it for a good 10-15 minutes. And so that's what it's going to look like. But it's going to simmer just a little bit. And of course I will take a picture of the finished product. But I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to serve it with. But it might be rice. But I thank you so very much for helping me through this journey, and I will think of something good for the 4th of July week. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.